Hello, y'all. This is Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz, and really tired.
I'm exhausted. We went out and met. I'm Carolyn, and we met family in New York City last night, and then came home and watched the reruns or a summary of the Tour de France. I had watched it live, so I was up at 6 a.m. yesterday and saw the crashes. Oh, your heart just goes into your throat. It's terrible. Today there were no crashes. That was excellent. But anyway, we stayed up to watch that. And then I'm reading a series of books by K. Breen, B-R-E-E-N-E. They're science fiction. And they don't finish in one book, of course. I think she's now written 6 in this one series. Mm-hmm. So I stayed up, and I made her go to bed at 2. And I thought I was only going to stay up for another half an hour. Well, you know,
I remember seeing 1 o'clock, but I definitely scooted down and fell asleep at around 1:15 then.
With an ebook, I just kept moving the pages, and I didn't realize time was passing. So it was 3:50 in the morning when I went to bed. And then I had an alarm set for 7 because Tour de France is on. Mm-hmm. I'm not taking a nap this afternoon because then I can go to sleep tonight at midnight and be up at 7.
For stage 3?
For stage 3. Yes, I love watching the Tour de France. And besides getting up early, I'll probably wake up by myself at 6. I can get out and I can walk before the temperatures go high. And they're supposed to be close. It's going to be a field temperature of about 100 around here tomorrow, which means that it'll be in the 90s somewhere. And the last time I went out walking, which is yesterday morning, I had my hair pulled back, and I ended up looking like a dog with long ears. Be that as it may. Anyway, who are you on Ravelry?
I am Liz for you on Instagram and Ravelry. We are, yes, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry and posting as Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram. And you were going to say?
I was going to say we are still looking into the different alternative options for Ravelry for us. I know of a few of them. They're linked below. It's just more of a time to do the research and then to see what works for my brain and works for Mom's brain. Because
well, you should explain that you're going for TCO of your
yes,
building.
well, my building. I work in construction, or I'm a project manager for a construction firm, as you all know if you've been watching for a while. And the building that we are building and that my project is going for TCO at Labor Day, which means that all of our inspections are happening between now and then. Like all of our finals, we have to get the building substantially completed, which means long days for us. Because something. And
she's my tech editor, expert.
I'm one.
We've already had a problem with Amazon today. I thought I was buying a splitter for both my iPad and my iPhone, and I got the splitter for the iPad. Mm-hmm. Did not get the splitter for the iPhone. So
and by splitter, she means a power input and a headphones input because the new iPads and new iPhones don't have an audio port anymore.
Right. And I love.
And do you like wired headphones more than you like?
Well, sometimes I go to sleep with my headphones or the little earphones because, listen, if I lay down and I'm listening to an audiobook, I'm out within 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. It doesn't, and I can go to sleep on planes that way. And I don't really want to have earphones that I have to charge. And then if they're not wired, they fall out and they're rolling all over the floor. Knowing me. Mm-hmm. That's not optimal. So I actually got a phone that had an input because I understand the new phone is not going to have an input. It's just going to be totally magnet.
I didn't know that.
Yes. I have been reading up on the 13th.
Ah.
So the 12s, as far as I can find out, are the last phones that are going to have an input hole. So
a power
jack, an input power jack. And I knew I could get splitters. So anyway, today Elizabeth helped me get a splitter. Then I thought I was buying a wall power plug for C's, and I got USBs. So, I swear I read these things.
So I helped her order some of those.
Meanwhile, I was putting things up on Instagram this week.
You were Instagramming like a fool this week.
I was bored.
It was great. So that is the reason why we haven't stated what we are moving to for Ravelry, because I do think we both want to, but there's research and input time that also needs to be taken into account that we just don't have right now.
See, the USBs will work with that.
Yes.
Which would be fine.
You had a day.
I had a day. Then I had Verizon telling me that the throwaway phone that I had bought at least a decade ago for when my regular phone was broken and would be away from me for 2 weeks, and I drove to and from Long Island to the Bronx every day. I didn't want to be phoneless because several times I popped a tire because I would go on the Cross Bronx. For those of you who are cognizant or aware of what the Cross Bronx Expressway is like, you know that it's not really a paved road. It's a series of potholes. And
with sometimes pavement between them.
Right. And add into that, excess construction screws, debris, whatever. So I have popped several tires on the Cross Bronx and had to be rescued by AAA. Or there was the time when my car just decided to stop on North Broadway in the Bronx by Van Cortlandt Park just because. Yeah. So I had to call AAA to have them start it again and get it to the point where it was running so I could drive home. So anyway, I didn't want to be without phone. I got an email saying, oh, by the way, we're changing your prepaid phone that, you would pay for as you used it to a monthly subscription plan. I'm going, I don't even have the phone anymore. I don't want to pay you $5 a month for something I don't have anymore.
Right. Call
them they can't find where they sent the email.
So anyway, they kind of treated Mom like she didn't know what she was talking about and that it was a fraudulent email. However, it was not. It was a legitimate email from Verizon. Yeah, because it gave me a Verizon telephone number to call and a clickable to Verizon itself. So, which we confirmed was to Verizon itself before clicking on it by hovering and right-clicking, and you can see the address that it will take you to. So, it's been a bit of a stressful day, but generally things are good. I managed to get a new holder for my phone. So with a wallet. With a wallet, so now all the cards in it. I didn't want to put the sticky thing on the back. Because my car is so old, it doesn't have Bluetooth, and it doesn't have maps. So this way I can take my phone out and put it in a holder, and it will be useful. I like useful things. Yes. So, You're fine, Mom. It'll go away. Stop. There you go. I know, but I want to turn it off. There it goes. There it goes. It's fine. We're fine. Anyway, I started another project. You did? I did. I had startitis. Cast-on-itis. So what'd you do? Let's see if I can find the bag. Ah! It's right on top. Yes, well, I took them all out, so they're kind of equally on top. This is the yarn you had bought at Knit Night. I did. Oh. And it is a knit from the top. It's called Kohana, which we will link below. And fits over your head. Fits over my head. I did, ouch, a gauge swatch that I've already ripped out to use in this because I don't have quite the amount of yarn. Okay. That I might need. So are you going to get down to sleeve separation, do a little bit after that, do the sleeves and then go. But with my gauge swatch, I was getting more stitches to the inch than the gauge called for. So I made a bigger size. Good. Yes. So I'm making a bigger size. Which means you're using more yarn than you would if you were making your size. Correct. And it was the right gauge. So... which is why I'm so glad it's from the top down, so that I can go down to the arm separation, do the sleeves, which are short sleeves. Yes. And then do the rest of it. Makes sense. But it is... It's not a soft cotton. No, it's a very wiry. Nylon-y type of cotton. Wiry cotton. I kind of like it, though. I think will be good in these hot temperatures, because it won't stick to you. Did you like that sound effect? Quite loud. Quite loud, yes. So, but it's got lace. It does. It doesn't have cables, but it does. Does have lace. Have lace, which nice. I'm much more enthralled by than color work. I don't know. Although I looked at one of the dresses that
looked like a sweater, but then went into a dress, and it's all color work. And who knows, maybe in midwinter I'll be interested in doing that. I'm just not interested in that at the moment. So So the Instagram looked at the cast on and said, "What do you think this will be?" So the answer is that it is a summer tunic. Now, whether it actually gets tunic length or whether it just is a top, it's up for grabs.
Still to be seen. But
it will have short sleeves. And from the picture, I'm not sure whether the sleeves have the lace on them or not. It's a free pattern, or it was a free pattern. It was one of those free for a short time patterns. So I tend to try to remember to look for those daily. And I've kind of stopped buying all the hat patterns.
Okay.
Or collecting all the hat patterns. But I am interested in the sweaters. I've also stopped clicking on all of the free shawl patterns unless they truly excite me, because now
you're just not a shawl person.
I'm not a shawl person, and throw that in the bag to go with me. And I don't, if someone's keeping track of the number of things and will they be used, honestly, the likelihood that I'm going to use them is kind of slim and none. So anyway, that's something I was working on this week. That is a day's worth of work.
Wow.
Yes. I got down in the pattern. I did I think 3 or 4 rows. I may have done 7 rows of garter stitch for the rollover at the neck, and then I think I just finished row 9 of the pattern. I need to print it out. This is where we realized your father's printer is having a problem, because I used to be able to connect to it over the wireless, but it apparently is not talking to the wireless.
I was going to say, do we need our more tech expert to come out when he is in town?
Yes, because Fred is not talking.
Okay.
Fred the printer is not talking to the computers.
Okay, we will see if our
They asked me
expert...
for a name for the printer, and I said Fred.
So I will find out if
our Fred the painter. I have Fred the printer.
We will ask our expert tech consultant.
Yes, that would be lovely.
They would be willing
That would be lovely. Do you want to talk about something you're doing? You want me to continue
I have
on?
been continuing on these socks from my cousin, who I actually got to see this week.
Yes, I have pictures.
My niece, who's so big, guys. She's so big. Mind you, she's a year and a half, and I haven't seen her.
She goes like, so big.
Yeah, she goes,
so big.
I'm so big. That's what she does when you ask her how old she is. Goes, it's very cute. So I got to see them. I mean, we are, because she's our little one.
She hasn't gotten back to you, has she?
Not.
You're gonna text her.
I thought you were gonna text her.
Oh, I thought
we'll text her after.
Okay.
After this. So I'm
communication problem.
On second sock. I am moving towards the time for a cuff. I need to find the first sock to make sure the first sock and the second sock are the same length of leg, but that should be happening pretty soon, and then I can make 2 sets of baby socks, and that package should be ready for whenever I see them next.
It should be maybe beginning of August.
Hopefully.
Or middle of July, something
Middle of July or early August, yeah.
Yes.
So what else have you been working on?
Our boat is sold.
Oh, yes.
Yes, so our monohull, the Jeannot 36i, has been sold. Money has exchanged hands.
Oh.
And so we are now boatless. I hope this is a temporary issue. So that, anyway, on Thursday we leave here to go to Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Maine. And when we get to Maine is when the new boat will be inspected. If it passes inspection, then 2 weeks after that we will be driving up to Maine, either in a U-Haul van. Well, they have regular...
Sorry, no, but you guys in a U-Haul van just makes me giggle.
Well, they have regular Sprinter vans.
I know.
Or we'll get one from Avis, because there is a local regional airport up there that Avis said, oh, you can drop this off at. I didn't book it at that point. I want to wait until the boat passes inspection. I think that's a better idea. Anyway, so that's somewhat news here. Otherwise, we would be taking people out on trips, and we would be talking to you in mid-afternoon. And the reason we're here in mid-afternoon is because the women's finals in gymnastics is tonight. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of sports I can watch on the television. And inspire me to moving more. I really have been moving more. So,
I mean, you walked 1.6 miles yesterday with us.
I walked a total of just under 5 miles yesterday.
Nice.
Yes, because I had gone out in the morning.
Right.
Which is why the hair looks like this. Anyway, remember I had one leg on Eric's little jumpsuit? Well, now I've got both legs, and I've started an arm. So I think what I'll do tonight, my goal is to finish the right arm.
Mm-hmm.
This is the right arm. Here's my right arm. Mm-hmm. This is his right arm. I need to do 5 repeats, so this is the first repeat. So I've got 1.5 repeats done. Mm-hmm. You go to 5 repeats, you do a tiny bit of a cuff, and then you bind off. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping to finish this arm tonight, maybe start this arm. And then there's a hood that can go on this, and I think a hood would be just delightful. Now, having seen this yarn this much, I'm not sure that I want to make his sister a matching dress. I think it would be a bit much.
You can make her a light, a quick and easy cardigan or something, but not a dress.
Out of this?
Yeah.
So they match?
You could make something matching, but I don't think you want to make another, full-length garment.
Well, I
just do something else in between and then make a decision.
So anyway, I still haven't gotten the zipper. That I can get at Joann's. I think I'll wait until I finish the sleeves so that I can just go immediately to applying the zipper. Now, the question about doing the zipper, what I was thinking of doing is taking regular thread and basting it in, and then taking the yarn and sewing it in with yarn.
I might also then reinforce it with sewing thread on the inside. Like sew it on the edge with yarn. Near the zipper teeth with the yarn, but then reinforce the zipper tape along the zipper tape.
I will have basted it on the zipper tape with thread.
Yes, but I feel like basting is not as sturdy.
The only thing I'm concerned about is in various lessons or knitting classes I've had, they talked about part of a problem is that thread is so much stronger than the yarn. Now, it may not matter since this is acrylic.
Right.
But normally I would hesitate to use thread at all in any knitted project because the thread could wear through your yarn, wool especially, and the zipper would actually come out because the thread holding it would have agitated enough to come through it. That's the only thing that makes me hesitate. However, I know that Jasmine,
the knitwear girls,
sew all the
time.
So, but they do baste. In fact, Gigi suggests that you baste, and that it works out better that way. So, this is acrylic.
Yes.
And therefore I think your suggestion of sewing it with the machine is a good one. In fact, I may sew it and then do the yarn over it, having basted it.
I'm also saying because it's a baby, and he might be wriggly.
Well, yes, but I'll put the yarn sewing over top that sewn part. Anyway, it's big. It's supposedly a 3-month size. God only knows. But the thing about babies, they grow. So that'll
and
be
he's going to be late fall probably. So
right. So he's a chilly weather baby. So this is for
his sister wasn't that big, but he might be.
Well,
who knows?
She is now. And she's
1.5.
Well, she went through that stage. This doesn't have to be used the first week he's home.
True.
Yeah. Especially since he's a cold weather baby.
I mean, okay.
Right?
I mean,
January
they seem to run warm over there. I don't get it.
All I'm saying is January will be coming.
True, I know that. Well, or February. Like this past February was every Wednesday we had a storm.
Right. So this will be good. Anything else, my dear?
So I got to the sleeve separation of my chest knit.
Oh, nice.
With the lace on the back. So I have submitted my photo, and I'm now waiting to receive the second half of the pattern, which I'm thinking will just be, continue the pattern, continue the lace pattern down the back, while, keeping, most of her things are not shaped along the sides, but it is still, it's still very comfortable. So I have not received that email yet, so we will see when I get that, and I hope it will be sometime soon so that I can keep going on that. I really do like the yarn. It's the Solstice DK from Magpie in Follow You Into the Dark. And it's not as springy as full merino, but it's also not as tough on my hands as a full silk or a full bamboo or a full cotton or linen. So being 50% merino and 50% cotton, or 50% merino, 25% cotton, 25% silk, it provides the positives of all three.
That's
I think.
Nice too.
Yeah. And while we're sitting here, because I don't want to keep knitting on the socks, because I don't know where I realized I don't know where I need to stop for the cuff.
Right.
I have picked up my boob window test, which still looks like it should be for my knee sling, but it does stretch and it will be big enough because it's in a 1x1 rib. So I am still working on this intermittently. I want to get the other test done because that one had a more stated or more stringent deadline, and I know I'm late on it. Part of the reason is also this week my wrist has really been bothering me. What you can't see from this side is that.
Yeah. Which
is visible now when my wrist is prone. So before I leave, I need to get the hand specialist's name.
Right.
So I can see. So I can see if I can get an appointment with them and if they take my insurance, because it actually started really hurting this week, which is weird. It's not in the same place. So this, for those of you who haven't been with us for years, I previously had a ganglion cyst in the center of my right wrist 3 years ago or so. And it did affect my strength and also caused a lot of pain. But it was only visible when my wrist was not prone, but when it was flexed. So the fact that it is now moved or it has occurred somewhere else, it does not cause the same amount of pain, and it does not cause the same amount of hand weakness. But because it can be visible while my hand is prone is why I'm a little bit more worried about it this time.
Yeah, so you can send yourself that information.
Okay, I will. So yeah, that is why I have not been working as much on things, just because I'm trying not to exacerbate it before I go see someone about it. Oh my word. It is so much more filled in.
Filled in?
Filled in.
So when we were having that discussion last Sunday night about you shouldn't take things out, but I should, it was because I was working on this dark water, and I had moved it up a square. So if you move dark water up a square, it starts impinging on the houses. And that would not be good. Actually, it starts impinging on the reflection of the houses. So having filled in this, it really does make this part of it look much more complete.
Yeah.
I have been working on the little bits of color that are reflected in the water here, and I've been working on the bottom down here, which it's hard for me to see. Actually, this from here over is filled in. That is actually white. That is not an open stitch. This is an open stitch. So from here over, I am still working, but I have now completed from here over, and I just have that one little set of stitches.
Wow.
Which is actually 2 different colors. So that's where I'm running it. That's why this looks like it's being filled in a little bit slower, because I do those 1 or 2 colors and then go find where else I need to be.
Nice.
So I've been doing that with, this is a very pale yellow that got filled in down here with 3 stitches. So I am really happy with it.
Good.
I'm very, very happy with it. I worked on this, I think, 2 nights. I worked on the little jumpsuit for 2 nights.
Okay.
I lost a night or 2.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did not work on this and I do want to work on this week. This is another summer sweater that I had started. Whoops.
Okay, that's the Symmetry?
Yes. It's my Symmetry in motion, and I did not work on it at all this week because somehow in my mind it seems like it's getting complicated, and I would like to finish the knitting of that jumpsuit first and get that done and out of the way, because I'm going to start feeling guilty if I spend a lot of time on this without working on that. So this got no love at all this week, but you can tell the jumpsuit got a lot of love. And then there was one night when all I did was read K.C. Breen or K. something Breen novels. I get sucked in, and I go right down the rabbit hole, which is great. And usually I make myself go to bed by 3, and I understand you're supposed to get a good night's sleep. I think I mentioned before that I take allergy meds that keep me awake or shorten the amount of time that I sleep. Add on to that for 31 years while I was teaching at Manhattan College, I would get up at between 5 and 5:30 and not get to bed until 11:30 or midnight. You know, between writing exams, correcting exams, papers, watching the news so I can keep up to date on things, writing, doing research. It just didn't happen. So I'm kind of used to not sleeping very long. And I reflect back on my graduate school days when I was thinking, I don't want to get a job where I have to get out of bed before 7:30. That's a decent hour to sleep to. Well, I was in class writing on the board by 7:30. Anyway, I do have a goal of getting to bed by 3. Okay. Because when you add 6 hours to that, it's 9 a.m., which is still not a terrible time to be getting out of bed. If I go to bed earlier, I just get up earlier. Yeah. So for the Tour de France at 7, I can go to bed at 1. If I go to bed at midnight, I'm up at 6, maybe 5:30, and go walking for a little while. It's wild around here. Anyway.
So is the life of a retired person.
That's right. That's right. You know, people say, are you busy? Well, I'm busy doing the things I really like to do, and I'm doing a lot more exercising. Yes. I'm trying to you know, do my stretching, do bicycling and walking, and so I've increased the number of active calories up to 500 a day, and I have been pretty much meeting that for the past 2 weeks, so that's good. Good. A friend of ours is doing a de-stash, and I had gotten the acrylic from her. And I thought she was actually de-stashing more acrylic, and no, it was yarn. Oh. It was wool, but... Because I thought I was getting more that I could use for the babies. Instead, I think it's going to be stuff I use for me. Oh, my goodness. Oh, no. Oh, no. There's an orange that I think I'm going to have to, like, match with a gray rather than the color that she's got it matched with. Otherwise, I mean, I think it would be lovely with a gray. So, anyway, I managed to add her to my Venmo.
I'm very proud of you.
I am, considering I have problems with tech and I can't order the right thing from Amazon. I mean, really. And then she's going to drop it off with our friend Mary. Okay. Who is then going to hopefully bring it to the knit night in 3 weeks.
Speaking of, yes, remember, Rhinebeck tickets are on sale for this year, and Untangled announced that they will be both in person and online for October 2021. Right. So
this Thursday and Friday, or
it's just Friday, I believe.
Friday.
But we are talking. We have offered to volunteer to help set up on Thursday. So if you are not part of Untangled's newsletter, you should, because I believe the newsletter for next week is going to provide the details on tickets, on volunteering, on all kinds of things. So I will put the link below for that. It's very exciting that it'll be both in person and digital. Yes. And I know that a bunch of people that we know who have done events at Rhinebeck in the past are also thinking about doing events this year. No official word yet. but things that I know about to keep an ear out for that we will discuss offline.
More things I can get in trouble with.
Mm-hmm.
Friend of ours got an Airbnb.
Yes, so we
have housing.
We have housing. Be sure if you are going to be in person to check for hotel reservations or your Airbnbs, book them now because it is the end of June and we are talking about the mid of October. But we also, none of us knew 3 months ago if this was actually going to happen.
Absolutely.
So,
and, I mean, normally, a normal Rhinebeck, I would have made those reservations November 2nd. Because Marriott, up until that, as far as I know, will let you make reservations 11 months in advance.
Right.
And so I would wait till November 1st or 2nd, and I would immediately go on and reserve our room. Well, nobody knew that Rhinebeck was going to happen. I mean, certainly in March, we were barely getting some of our shots. So I'm so excited about being able to get out and go places and see people. Do I need more yarn? Look behind me. Do I really need more yarn? The answer is no. And I know the answer is no. But that...
And this is why when you
doesn't really stop me.
Which is funny because a few months ago we had been talking about, well, if Rhinebeck occurs, are you going to go? And Mom was like, I don't want to go. I got too tired last time. I have enough yarn. There's no reason for me to go. Elizabeth, you can go. You can meet up with your friends. You go. I'm going to be on the boat. I'm going to be on the boat. And I was like, Mom, it's middle of October. I'm going to be on the boat.
Well, I thought I'd be going down the Chesapeake.
And then
there's an Airbnb.
And then suddenly I get a text message. Like, I had already bought Saturday tickets the day they went up because it's $15. And people were like, saying they were getting sold out, and so I kind of panicked, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to get tickets. So I got tickets for us, and I messaged a friend and if she wanted me to get her a ticket just in case, so I did. And then, like, 2 days later, I get a message from Mom going, oh, FYI, so-and-so, our friend is having an Airbnb, we're booked for one of the rooms in it. I was like, Oh, so now we're going.
Well, because what our friend had said, look, if Rhinebeck has to close down again, we're all vaccinated.
True.
We can have a weekend away.
Yes.
And have a lovely time because we're all vaccinated.
True.
Right. She's in the medical profession. So if we need to have any kind of update, what is it? Booster shot. Yes. That's the word.
We will know.
We'll know, and we'll get in line and we'll get that. So, we would be able to use the Airbnb regardless.
Well, and because Indy will be both in person and digital.
And we can help.
And we can do virtual. And if Rhinebeck shuts down, we can do virtual. I know, you're so excited about volunteering. So we're on the newsletter for Indy Untangled. Like, we both receive it. And so I texted Mom that they had made the announcement that it was in person. Mom then told me to text our friend who runs it and say, the Predmores are ready to volunteer in whatever capacity is required.
I just need to be able to sit down.
I know. and our friend just, loved the message. And I was like, good.
Okay, got our names in.
But and of course Mom was like, did you tell her? Did you tell her? I was like, so I sent Mom a copy of that. I was like, yes, I have
5 moms that help out at this?
5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very cute.
We have a good time.
Yeah. You all create your little mom circle, and then it's very cute.
We look out for everybody.
So,
I thought we did a good job with the pictures. I don't think as many people got people to take pictures as we did.
I don't know.
Because I was willing to be a fool, that's why.
Well, you're always willing to be a fool.
I am. For a good cause. I was a fool for my students. It doesn't matter. If it's for a good cause, I'm ready for it.
So that is something that is coming up in the fiber community that we are very excited about here in New York. Other than that, I got some yarn in the mail.
You did?
I did.
Oh,
I had to
record early next weekend.
Okay, we can talk about it. We can figure it out. So,
oh my goodness.
I know. It was a spur of the moment decision.
Was this a special letter or something? A special email? She sent to you. By the way, I'm making this up for you.
No. So, Lolabean Yarn Co. Adela posted on Instagram, and I happened to look at Instagram at the right moment, that she was having an update of her DK merino, yak, and silk base.
Oh, those are the words you'd love to hear.
Uh-huh. And that it was going to have City So Nice, they named it twice, which is her New York colorway.
Okay.
And I have regretted not getting it for like a year and a half, 2 years now. And so I saw it, and I was like, well, do I need it? And the answer is yes.
Oh, okay.
And my response, and then the other question is, well, do I need 2 or 3 skeins? And I looked at a lot of my color work patterns, and a lot of them call for about just over 2 skeins. So I got 3.
It's not quite bend friendly.
It has 60%. It's only at 60%. It's 60, 20, 20. 50%. No, you need 60.
All right.
Yes.
Just checking.
I know, you really wanted it. That was cute.
No.
that was a real slick try there, Ma. So I ended up grabbing 3 skeins of this in the, like, kind of sly update that occurred.
But I may cast on something else. I just see another bag over
So, yeah, this came, and it is just lovely. It's been sitting in my living room this week, just being pretty. And yeah, it was one of those moments where I was like, I just got on Instagram at the spur of the moment, like, at the right time, because it was sold out in like 5 or 10 minutes of everything else. And it happened to be the merino yak silk base, too. So
it was just meant to be.
It was meant to be, and it
I'm not buying clothes.
Right.
Well, not many clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have gotten back on track, and with the extra activity I'm doing, I am back losing again.
Okay.
So the idea is I'd like to lose another 10 pounds and then maybe think about sewing.
Okay.
Because then, even if I get smaller with another 10 pounds, they'll still fit-ish.
And we can always make things, you can
smaller.
Always, yeah.
So, but I hate working at this size. And we're going sailing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that is the state of the art. We are up to our noses in athletics, and that is another reason why I'm working so much on my projects.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I sit there, and as their feet pedal, I'm knitting or I'm doing my cross stitch almost as fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's amazing how you keep up with the rhythm. It's a little bit more disjointed with the gymnastics.
Yes.
Because they remember, and then they hop foot and do something, and then they sit and talk, and so then I kind of pause and listen. But yeah, it's exciting. What can I tell you? I'm just
Mom really loves the sporting events.
A fool for these things. I loved. Do you all remember Wide World of Sports on Saturday afternoons, where they would have? They wouldn't have baseball. They wouldn't have football. They would have the Wacky World of Sports, and they would have sumo wrestlers, and they would have gymnastics, and they would have ski jumping, and they would do all kinds of things. And I go, I love this stuff. Things I would never do, but I really love this stuff. Well, Wide World of Sports bit the dust, probably after 20 years. I mean, it was on for quite a while. Mm-hmm. But the Olympics is full of those sports that I used to watch religiously on a Saturday afternoon, and I love it. And then the Tour de France. Not only do you get to see these people that are working so hard, and I even looked up the bike path in Eisenhower Park. So I may put the bike in the car and go over there, as of 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting to be a little leery about biking on our streets around here because they're rutted. And as I get a little older, I'd rather not get my bike into a rut and then pull off the bike. That would be really bad. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather be on a paved bike path. And I'm also getting a little leery of the traffic. I'd rather be on a dedicated bike avenue rather than over here. It's really the ruts, because then a car comes and I'm trying to avoid the rut, and I'm going, I mean, the hair's going to give them a clue, but, and I've never had a close call. So I can't point to an instance where, oh my God, that was a close, no, it's been fine. But, maybe also using the Eisenhower Park bike path, I might actually ride longer than I do. So anyway, we'll see whether I get out this week or whether it's the following week when it gets a little cooler. Because even in the morning, it can be deadly dense in the air.
I mean, it was 79 degrees yesterday at 9 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, I was out at 6. I went out at 6:15 when it was drizzling. And it was drizzling so hard, I wasn't sure whether it would pour. And I really didn't want to be out and around.
You didn't want to come back in as a drowned rat?
I didn't. I really didn't. So I made one loop around it. Plus, I knew that we'd be walking in New York City last night.
Yes.
We got to see the Van Gogh exhibit.
We did. So it's the immersive Van Gogh exhibit at Pier 36.
Oh my goodness! Well, first of all, we met my cousin and her family there. Well, not there. We met some of the family there. Then we met the rest of them at the restaurant.
Because I took the teenagers for Friday night and Saturday to accomplish
vintage shopping.
We went to bookstores. We did a catacombs tour
of old St. Patrick's.
Yes, and a whole bunch of things that were on their list that they wanted to get done. That they weren't sure they wanted to have their little brother and their parents along, or could wrangle all of them to go and do.
Right. Because their little brother has tons of energy.
Yes.
So the Pier 36 has great parking. It was crowded when I drove in, but because it's the immersive experience, people come and go kind of as they see enough of this. And I was able to get a spot very easily. The parking was $36, so it's a little expensive, but we were
for event parking in New York City, it's not that bad.
And I was parking for more than 2 hours. It says on the sign it pay more if you're there for more than 2 hours. They have no clue. They're not really checking anything. They let me park my own car, so I didn't have to give them my keys. There was none of that stuff. And then I met them on the corner. We walked over to the restaurant. We walked back. The immersive part, they're matching Van Gogh paintings with music. And they had digitized the paintings so that the windmills actually go around. And in one painting, you're sitting at a cafe and you're watching the train cross the trestle in the distance to this music. And they have some of the paintings are paired with Edith Piaf's Rien de Rien.
Yeah.
Non, je ne regrette rien. And just beautiful.
The use, and they also have designed the rooms so that they're art installations that are mirrored. So it creates a very interesting
walls, floors, mirrors.
It's phenomenal. If you have the chance to go, we suggest you go.
In one of the big rooms, they actually had benches and chairs. We actually sat on the floor with our backs against some of the mirrors. And we actually were in 2 different rooms, so we actually got the experience in 2 different places. And I thought that was really nice. I didn't bring my mug up. I bought a mug as my souvenir of the experience. I bought a 14-ounce mug because I make 12 ounces of coffee in the coffee machine. So this way, I can have my coffee. I make sure I put the Ersatz creamer in it. I use only what you need, which is made from some kind of plant-based thing, and as the creamer in my coffee. So I've got 2 ounces, or I've got space for the creamer, and I tried it out. I washed it out last night, and I used it this morning, and I felt very sophisticated. Yes.
But yeah, so if you're looking for something to do in the city, there are circles. There are also 2 different Van Gogh exhibits going on, both labeled interactive or immersive. There's one on the lower west side, and one on the lower east side. We went to the one on Pier 36, which is the lower east side. I'll link down below. But it was really lovely. I probably could have watched it. It's a video that goes.
I watched it 2 more times.
I could have too. I think it was just also because we were a bit tired, and we also, with our family, we didn't want to impose that we could have stayed, but they obviously were
getting itchy. Plus, we walked their feet off.
We did.
My cousin is a little less fit than I am.
Yes.
And as I said, I'm walking at least a mile a day, and I'm trying to walk 2 miles a day, and I've been doing this for a while. Yeah. So I don't go fast, but I'm steady.
Yeah.
And she isn't.
She is not as active.
No.
Yes.
And so she hasn't been doing this. And it was hot and humid, which are two words that are guaranteed to short circuit me, usually. So if I hadn't been out already this summer walking away, I think I would have been having a problem. My cousin had a slight problem. Plus, she didn't know how, in her mind, she didn't know how far we were walking. So once we turned the corner...
I have noticed Cindy does not have a very good mental map of distancing.
No. And if you told me I had to go 500 yards, I couldn't tell you how long that is.
No. Which is why I told you in blocks how long things were.
I have yet to be able to figure out distances. Your father will say, another 50 feet. I have no clue.
Give me it in blocks, please.
I have no idea.
We talking street blocks, or are we talking avenue blocks?
So that's one thing we're going to work on with the new boat is estimation of distance.
Nice.
So that I can tell him distances and he can tell me distances.
Good.
Dyslexia strikes again.
Yes. So... but it was a very good time.
We had a great time. We went to Bear Burger.
Yes.
So that everybody could construct their own meal the way they wanted. And it actually worked out pretty well. We only had one person who was slightly unhappy with her order. And
she was able to solve the issue and found somewhere where she could find something that she knew she could have and that she would at least enjoy. And so once I finished my burger, she and I walked over there and walked back, and she ate, and we were good to go.
I think it's just that she didn't order exactly what she wanted for Bear Burger. She might have been able to get something better.
Didn't understand. Yeah, I think sometimes it's a bit overwhelming.
It's an experience.
And it was the Lower East Side, and sometimes it's just, it was loud, and it was outside, and it can be overwhelming.
Pride weekend.
Yes.
I mean, just means it's extra busy.
Yes.
We were lucky in that we were not involved in any of the parades, and I only say lucky is because with my dyslexia, any additional chaos, I'm likely to get very lost. So,
well, the parades are all today.
Right, too. But there were some other things going on.
Yeah, the setups and
so I was lucky in that where we were as far on the east side, so there weren't extra signs, etc.
Yes.
So parade is today. But the village was extra busy.
It was. It was extra busy.
So, but it was nice to see such activity.
It was. It was actually really good to get downtown. Reminded me how much I enjoy the city that I live in.
Yes.
And
as we open it more, and perhaps I will tell you that sitting in the VanGogh, we had walked so much, it wasn't as air conditioned as I thought it would be, and I was still hot. Behind my mask, which doesn't usually happen when I'm inside. So try not to hoof it a mile before you get there, because you may not be able to cool off quite as much. The bathrooms are great, however. There are at least 12 stalls in the ladies' room, and they're very clean, and when we were there, the line moved very fast. So,
good.
Thumbs up for the ladies' room.
But yeah, so that's what we've been up to.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
And we're going to be going to Connecticut.
Yes.
And then Rich and I will continue on to Rhode Island and Maine. So we will be recording probably on Friday.
Probably. Or we record on Thursday, we'll talk.
Right. So we'll go up early next weekend, but then back at a probably Sunday afternoon. Sunday evening. The following. Probably. Yeah. But yeah. So that's where we're at. We hope you all are doing well. We do, yes.
We hope that you all are, staying cool and hydrated. And we will...
Did you think you had a problem with dehydrating?
I think I might have... So, not to tangent again, I do this thing when I have to take care of other people that I make sure that they're taken care of, and then I forget to take care of myself. So I'm pretty sure I might not have had enough to eat or enough water yesterday, because I did but I let the girls have my water because they didn't have their water bottles with them because they had forgotten them at the hotel with their parents instead of bringing them with us on Friday, and so I let them have the water from my water bottle, so then I didn't have water. So yeah. It's just a thing that happens.
It's involved, right. It's like my love of volunteering.
Yes, and yes. I had promised our cousin that we would get her children back, I promised that I would try not to kill them.
Right, so that we would get them back in good shape.
And I did.
So I think everybody had a good time. I think the little one, he seemed to be intrigued with the whole thing.
Yeah.
He was, since I had fixed his stuffed animal, he was really very happy to have me at the table.
Good.
So that was good.
But yeah, so
I think that's about it.
We will talk to you all next week.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.